Assalamualaikum. I am Hazika binti Fazli, and now I would like to briefly present on the introduction part. Have you ever heard about the uncommon cash line like stay at home, stay safe, let's fight together, and kita jaga kita these days? Unconsciously, the environment has now been flooded with this catchy tagline everywhere, whether it were found in the news, poster, advertisements, or even at the touch of our fingertips when scrolling the social medias. The current situation, not only faced by Malaysians, but also around the world, had bring huge impacts in everyone's life in terms of one's daily routine, social life, employment matter, educational system, and many more. The lifestyle in which we were familiar with will only remain as a memory since our life keep changing and continue to change from day to day due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, various of unusual and strange routine become new ways of life and habits that should be accustomed to. For example, this may include wearing face masks, frequently wash hands with soap and water, practice physical distancing, limit close contact, and avoid touching face with unwashed hands. So, all these matters had become a preventive action that need to be taken by everyone in order to break the change of this pandemic. However, those practices only last for a while and short-term period as most of the people refuse to comply with the government's command and still free to move everywhere as before. As a result, this situation is getting worse and worrying as the reported cases has increased dramatically and now has reached the 4-digit figure in a short period of time. As evident, Malay Mail has reported recently that Malaysia has climbed back to 4-digit COVID-19 cases that hit the highest cases with 3,309 new cases on 12 January 2021. Therefore, this portrays that the biggest daily rise since the start of the pandemic last year. Now, let's move to the issue that need to be addressed with. The current situation had put the world on pause where it is profoundly affects the people's life around the globe. The economic shutdown, isolation, contact restriction, and movement control had imposed a complete change to the environment, especially in the affected countries. The government had also adopted a range of measures by limiting the public gatherings, prohibit travelling, closing schools, working from home, and imposing lockdowns. Therefore, the impose of movement control order, which was done in stages for several times, starting from 18 March 2020 until now, causing a severe impacts on domestic or foreign economic activities, global supply chain, investment fall, and high unemployment among the local people. Not only that, those restrictions result to stay-at-home order, ban outdoor activities, which may include shut down all the non-essential businesses, restrict foreign visitor, and forbid the foreign investor. Unfortunately, this decision may contribute to economic downturn in Malaysia that could lead various implications not only to the government itself but to the public as a whole too. The pending businesses, reduced income, high unemployment rate, shortage supply chain, and loss of livelihood had bring hardship for every group in this challenging era. Therefore, the government should play an essential role to overcome this situation from lingering over a long period of time by supplying aids and assistance to strengthen back the economy as before. This way will able to preserve the people's welfare, support businesses, and build up the country's economy, which aim to create effective planning to roll out the threat of this pandemic. As evident, the government had introduced Prihatin Rakyat package which amounted to 260 billion that able to help the public survive during this challenging time through the monetary aids. Not only that, Malaysia Prime Minister also had announced the additional aid packages which aim to reinforce the small and medium enterprise and other related businesses to operate as usual by supplying them with monetary and non-monetary aids. For example, Majlis Amanah Rakyat (MARA) is one of the agency that act as the allocation provider which focusing mainly on entrepreneurship sector. Therefore, this agency had been given various aids and incentive in order to help its member through the incentive given such as Skim Kemudahan Pembiayaan Pengukuhan Perniagaan SPAK and rental exemption for temporary in order to rebuild back their affected business operation. To sum up, currently the economic growth in Malaysia is badly affected in all available sectors due to this outbreak. Thus, the action taken by the government to minimize the economic losses are vital as a preventive measure in order to ensure the economy will be fully recovered and improve in the future.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So my name is Nura Atikah binti Abdullah. So today I will talk about the implication of the economy towards the pandemic issue. So the pandemic issue that have been facing by our country, which is Malaysia, is the COVID-19 pandemic. So the first impact that have been occur to our economy is our gross domestic product was contract to 2.61%. So during this COVID-19 pandemic, as we know, our country cannot cannot do activity of economic activity with other country because this pandemic has affected globally. So because of that, our country cannot supply output to other country, and the demands of the domestic also decrease. So because of that, our country have to facing lost value of the gross domestic product about 38 billion. So this is a huge amount to our country because so this is the impact that the country need to face because of this pandemic COVID-19. So the second impact is our people in Malaysia have to face losing of the job. So because of the pandemic COVID-19, the government have taken action of doing the movement control order, which is MCO, to reduce the positive case of the COVID-19. So because of this, many sectors have to stop their operation of business during this MCO. So when this stop their business operation, they do not have enough money to pay for the salary, and because of that, they need to disconnect for their some of the workers. So according to the Bank Negara Malaysia, they estimate about 951,000 of the people in the Malaysia will lose their job. So about 647,000 of the people was the unskilled labor, and 303,000 was the skilled labor. So because of the pandemic, many of the Malaysian have to facing their losing jobs and they lose their source of income also. So the last impact is the impacts toward the small and medium-sized enterprise. So according to this pandemic COVID-19, the small and medium-sized enterprise are also facing a difficult to run their business. Uh, during the MCO, which is the government have been doing for the 3 months, the entrepreneur in the small and medium sized enterprise did not have inflow of cash during that duration. So even they do not have the inflow of cash, they still need to pay full salary, full rental. So because this almost of they decide to close their business operation. So according to the according to the Ministry of the Entrepreneur and Creative Development, Wan Junaini Teku Jaafar, he say that about 9,675 business in the small and medium sized enterprise has closed their business operation during the MCO during this pandemic COVID-19. So because of this, a lot of people have lose their income, and our economy also will lose their what value to get the income from this sector. So this pandemic issue give the big impact to our economy. I think that's all from me. We move to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Hazrini and I will continue on the recommendation part. So the first one is the economy must be stimulated by allowing the trade. So by allowing the trade, it can continue to help small business to survive from the crisis. Furthermore, this pandemic also severely affected in terms of income and employment of Malaysian society. Therefore, to focus on restructuring the strategies to reduce the economic burden. Additionally, without the assistance of the government, this business cannot survive from the crisis. So, the government's actions related to supporting the economy in terms of income and employment are also necessary. Basically, building resilience capability and positive social relations are usually regarded as an effective strategies for this business during disaster times. Curtailed through preventive measures. In this global health crisis, all business must act responsibly and adhere to the national guidelines of social distancing in order to ensure minimum human contact and hygienic work environment. Ministry of Health Malaysia has already issued several guidelines for the healthy and safety of workers that involve in different sectors that must be followed in letter and spirit to contain the spread of the virus in the workplace. The third one is to communicate authentic and reliable information with the relevant stakeholders. This is because an effective response to the crisis requires an appropriate communication and rapid understanding of the current scenarios across different levels of the firm. Moreover, it is also necessary to communicate timely information about the business status in mean of open or closed during working hours of operation, and online or delivery based options for the customers to reduce confusion and facilitating customer support for local business The accurate, timely, and transparent information is very necessary not only for the prevention and treatment of this pandemic, but also for the reduction of uncertainty and trust in all economic and social areas, including the workplace. That's all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Shazwani binti Zulkifli. I will proceed this presentation with the outcomes on pandemic issues. Basically, the COVID-19 pandemic has an effect on the global economy, especially Malaysia. COVID-19 has shaken the global economic system that is currently in a state of instability. The biggest problem facing by retailers in the e-business sector is to reduce the purchasing behavior of customers. The lessening of the purchasing behavior also reduced the supply and shipping operations. According to the research processes that are being carried out, the scenario described, it will be at least 4 months longer. This will degrade the e-business and perhaps even the huge loss to the e-business. For this justification, there is a restriction of human-to-human contact leading to a weakening in e-commerce sales. Observing it, it was believed that digital business are severely hindered by this pandemic. The country is suffering severely as the death rate is rising, but the economy of the country has also decreased in the coming days. It is predicted that it will be very difficult to return, but rather lead to economic growth as it was before. It is also quite crucial to raise the country's profit. Thank you. We will move to the next presenter.
So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Alia Natasha binti Badrul Kamal. So for today, I will continue with the conclusion. So it can be concluded that the pandemic of COVID-19 still continue to give a huge impact towards many economic sector in Malaysia and also the other countries that involved. When the spread of the COVID-19 become wide, it disrupts the economic activity and bring a negative impact into it, such as in manufacturing and services industry, due to the MCO, which is Movement Control Order, that implemented by the government. The organizations cannot operate as usual because there are some laws and regulations that must be followed by them. So there will be more businesses that will collapse, which lead to unemployment of the public or the society itself. And the degree to which businesses will recover, that will dictate the magnitude of the unemployment and growth challenges that lie ahead. So for many small traders who provide inexpensive sources of food and other supplies, the MCO has eliminated the profits. For example, the night market seller, a major food and supply distribution channel in the country, is not only a source of income for small traders, but also a source of affordable food and supplies for a large number of households. So for the microcredit program that provided by government, and additional allocations are available, and the eligibility requirements for eligible micro entrepreneurs are simplified. So that the moratorium on loans or financing repayments by financial institutions is valid for a period of 6 months from 1st April 2020 and has been extended to the target community for a period of 3 months from 1st October 2020. So each eligible micro SME is granted a special grant of 3,000 ringgit, but with the terms which the micro SME must register with the Malaysian Inland Revenue Board. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.